Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you to the regional semi finale of the Ultimate Pitch Season 9. I'm Meenal Singh Chandel and I'll be your host for today. It has been more than a month since we launched TUP 9.0 Be the Now across the country. It was a call out to the young minds to channel their entrepreneurial zeal and spirit of innovation. From starting with an idea, giving it form and shape, doing the cost benefit analysis, and finally bringing it to a stage where it's ready for go to market. You guys did it all. Now, with absolute delight, I want to give you all a sneak peek into TUP 9.0's incredible journey so far with this video. We received an overwhelming response with over 19,000 registrations and more than 1,500 idea submissions from campuses across the country. With this, I would now like to show you the names of the top 26 teams who made it to the regional semi finale. Can we please have the video here? Congratulations, teams. It has been a tough journey, and you definitely have proven your mettle. Determination, grit, and an unwavering faith in your ideas has brought you to this stage of this tremendous journey. Kudos to you. We eagerly await to see your ideas unfold and soar to unprecedented heights. Now, before we begin, here's a quick rundown of how the regional semi finale will progress. The teams will have 3 minutes to pitch their idea in the form of a pitch video, post which the teams will make a 3 minute presentation to the jury and an additional 1 minute to showcase a prototype of their ideas. Also, this year we have a special feature called the Idea Face Off. Don't worry, we'll tell you more about it in the coming slides. This will also be followed by a 4 minute Q&A by the jury. We're excited to see how you guys will fare in this new format, but also please keep an eye on the time. We will be giving you nudges before the timer runs out. But wait, how do the teams impress the jury? The answer has always been straightforward. Your idea must be futuristic, should solve a real world problem, challenge conventional wisdom, be practicable and scalable, and have a strong business case. We sincerely hope our idea workshop powered by GeoGen Next help the teams here take their ideas to the next stage. Coming back to the idea face off, in order to add a little twist to the competition, we have added a new feature this year called the idea face off. Here, each of the teams gets an opportunity to question their respective opposition team. For this, you'll be given an additional 1 minute after the opposition team's presentation. Keep in mind that our gurus will award you bonus points not just on how you're answering those questions, but also on how you're asking the right questions. Now it's time to tell you about the exciting rewards for regional semi finale winners. Firstly, the winners of today will advance to the grand finale of the ultimate pitch to be held at Reliance Corporate Park in Navi Mumbai. The national finalist gets an opportunity to be mentored by the CEOs, CXOs at Reliance. They also get a pre-placement interview opportunity with Reliance. Further, for the grand finale, the ultimate winner of the grand finale will walk away with an astonishing cash prize of 6 lakh rupees. The ultimate runners up will be awarded a cash prize of 3 lakh rupees, and the popular choice award will be awarded a cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. Now, with all set in place, let's begin the regional semi finale by introducing the jury for today. We have some eminent gurus with us who are the pioneers in the areas of finance, marketing, and operations. They will be assessing your ideas in this round. And I'm glad to introduce Mr. Sudeep Kashyap, Segment Head, Head of Inside Sales, Mr. Abhishek Puranik, Vice President Finance, and Mr. Arush Kishore, Vice President at Reliance Petchem Division. Now we have a question for the jury here. What is that one thing that you guys are looking forward to in the regional semi-finale today?
Okay, I'll go first. Given my background where I come from, I'm going to look at profit, and profit. Because unless you earn profit, the business is not going to be scalable, right? So that's for me.
Let me go next. So I'm looking for newness of the idea. I'm looking at it being implementable and scalable at the same time.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more about whether it's customer backwards, whether it's solving a real world problem, and does it have the potential to create impact at scale. I think those are the two things that the idea is to tick off.
Thank you so much, jury members. I hope the teams took note of the hack you have just shared and make the best use of this opportunity. It's time to let the games begin. With this, I would now like to call upon the teams Kashroma and KitKat. I'm sorry, there's this little change. Yes. Kashroma and team KitKat. Can we have the team Kashroma's video on the screen, please?
Approximately 3 lakh tons of hair waste are thrown away per year worldwide. In India, almost 95% of the human hair waste generated is thrown away. In urban areas, it often accumulates in large amounts in the solid waste streams and chokes the drainage systems, posing a multifaceted problem. Due to slow degradation, it stays in the dumps, waste streams for long, occupying large volumes of space. Over time, leachate from these dumps increases the nitrogen concentration in the water bodies, causing problems of eutrophication. Burning of human hair or the waste piles containing them produces a foul odor and toxic gases such as ammonia, carbonyl sulfides, hydrogen sulfides, and pyridates. In spite of a large economy running around human hair, there has been no systemic thinking about environmentally safe management of human hair waste. The current utilization, even in India, with a very strong hair trade, is only about 1 to 2%. Such a large amount of unused hair presents a significant potential for developing systems which utilize the waste material as a resource. That's where our idea of hair cycling fits in. Presenting to you Kesh Farm, an organic amino acid plus crop booster. The process of decomposition of human hair is completed within a few hours by chemically hydrolyzing it at high temperatures in acid or base solutions. The hydrolyzed solution, which mainly consists of amino acids with some fatty acids and nucleotides, can be used as a liquid fertilizer after neutralization. The hydrolysate from the process can be used and sold as an agricultural nutrient for plant growth. This would reduce the farmer's costs by 30 to 40% and a shift from synthetic fertilizers. These amino acids would help to increase chlorophyll concentration in the plant, leading to a higher degree of photosynthesis, accelerating metabolism, and invigorating crop growth. The idea is based on an in-depth understanding of farmers' requirements, where we found a clear need for high-quality, low-cost organic offering in this space. Thus, in addition to reducing large amounts of hair waste from our ecosystem and landfills, we would also be reducing our dependence on synthetic fertilizers. The waste disposal and management by salons and religious places mostly rely on either auctioning or improper dumping or local burning, leading to the release of harmful gases and other dangerous compounds. Partnerships with the critical stakeholders in the collection process will effectively help us eliminate this waste and convert it into sustainable products, thereby preserving our environment.
Good evening to one and all. When was the last time you visited a salon? And have you ever wondered what happens to all the human hair waste? On an average, we visit salons to get a haircut every 1 to 1.5 months. We also get hair services which contribute to a lot of hair accumulation. Have you ever wondered where all of this hair goes? It's only here that we felt the need to address improper disposal of human hair with a lucrative opportunity of converting it into an amino acid based crop booster. We studied the agrarian economy of India completely and understood all the pain points of farmers and their unending woes of reduced crop yield and chemical fertilizers, which harms the soil as well as their health in the long run. Presenting the first of its kind product, Kesh Farm. We are revolutionizing the way hair waste is treated and converting it into an amino acid based crop booster using our in house breakthrough innovation technology, which improves crop yield by 16 to 18%. Kesh Farm is different from its counterparts by being a product of human hair. We term the process hair cycling and utilize the high nitrogen content of hair and presence of protein rich elements which make up 91% of human hair.
Okay, so now that we know that could be the next futuristic revolution in agriculture, we have built a business case around it. We plan to monetize the entire process by direct sales, connecting with farmer networks and exports to fellow agrarian economies. We will connect with the cooperative societies and state commodity boards to reach the rural belts of India. We have focused our efforts to amp up sales and align with a short term strategy of aggressive marketing and advertising. Our long term strategy is to design a network where religious hotspots, temples, salon partners, logistic providers, farmers are connected to each other in a streamlined manner. We envisage other hair products like bio hair mats, which could find the reach in retail urban B2 segments in the long run.
Now that we know of the features and functionality of the product, we would like to present the implementation plan for the setup and circulation of the mentioned product. We would start then, this would start with the idea validation, which has been done at the laboratory level at BIT Misra Ranchi. Our MVP would be built by putting together sourcing and manufacturing aspects. Further ahead, we plan to secure funding, expand from the beachhead market, and build the product to scale business. This would be supported by the solid financial plan that we had laid out for the next 5 years. We expect to break even in the second year and grow exponentially, hitting the 50 crore plus mark, bringing in on board more than 1,000 salons and religious hotspots by preventing more than 290,000 kgs of hair going into the garbage dumps. In conclusion, we wish to say this loud and clear. There have been many revolutions, no such revolution such as this one, in which we aim to bring Kesh Kranti to India. Thank you. We also have a prototype video which we would like to present ahead. If you could go ahead with that.
We inquired with the salon owners what they generally do with the waste hair.
Like trashing out.
या फिर
नहीं
आधे
बड़े
लोग
बाल
भेज
होते हैं वो तो बिक
देते हैं।
जाते हैं,
वो
बाकी छोटे बाल तो नॉर्मल होते हैं, वो तो फिर कोड़े में जाएंगे वो।
and how much quantity of waste hair they collect in one day.
भाई कस्टमर को पर काम हो जाए तो पता नहीं किलो हो जाए.
When asked if they would like to partner up in an initiative like Kesh Farm,
If there is some kind of opportunity which we can receive, then we definitely.
वो दे देंगे, हमें क्या दिक्कत है.
We tested the efficacy of the product through primary, secondary, and scientific research and analysis. We were able to test our proof of concept, which has been formulated in a laboratory. We used 15 milliliter of the crop booster per liter of water for our plant, and the results have been under review since the testing period is 6 weeks, and we are currently in the 4th period of our observation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, team. We'll now invite Team KitKat for the idea face-off round.
Hello, my name is Swarna. So my question is, like in the light of existing organizations like Sarthak in Madhya Pradesh, which is already venturing into this business, but facing the challenges of setup cost and considering the intricate processes involved in fertilizer production, such as washing and segregation, coupled with substantial cost associated with hair collection, which is also inherently seasonal because one time you may collect this much and other time you might not. So how does your team envision to reach profitability and scalability? Could you also provide insights on strategy on managing it in the long run? That's it.
Definitely, we'll take these questions one at a time. Rohit, can you move on to the slide where we have highlighted the GTM and So, yes, I would like to address the questions. Since we already have a lot of government schemes and other such schemes in different parts of the country, we have built a different 3-step plan. We have attracting potential buyers. So, as we've mentioned that we are targeting different revenue streams and we are going it through the way of Gram Panchayat networks, rural commodity boards, state commodity boards. So, it will be a very grassroots plan kickstart to the plan. Apart from this, we are attracting potential buyers through promotional activities, print and media plans, and different content strategies that we have differently built for them. Secondly, we'll be onboarding the salon partners and religious hotspots. Now, as you very well pointed out, that this could be a seasonal problem, this could be a strategic problem. So basis the seasonality of the issue, we have different incentives for salon partners and religious hotspots. Different religious hotspots become active at different points of the year. For Pitrapaksh, Bihar, our beachhead market is very suitable, but for occasions like Tirupati, Balaji celebrations, we'll aim Tirupati. And similarly, there are other occasions where religious hotspots come into being. So this solves for the seasonality of the problem. Apart from this, I think, Rohit, please move to the next slide. We have a risk mitigation plan as well. We have a 3-step plan. We have we will be combating saturation problems, social implication, and technology transfer. And I think we leave it at the platforms that we have created. We can move to the next slide. Yeah. I think that is all from my side. Time's up.
Thank you so much, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Harush, you want to start or? Okay, let me take the first shot. Good presentation, guys, and a good thought process. Now, I have a few questions. First, I'll take it on the technical side of things. There's a US company called Smart Grow who has been doing this for quite a few number of years, but they have had no success in that. This probably they are doing it for 15, 20 years. Now, I think they have been acquired by Bosch, if I'm not wrong. And so they have not been able to grow this business. They tried their luck with this, but have you studied that? What went wrong? and how is it different from your model? Question one. Question two is, see, what is the biggest problem in India apart from, I mean, there's a lot of focus on organic fertilizers because chemical fertilizers are harmful and all the nuisance value created by them. Everyone is aware of that. So, so there is a lot of focus in India on fertilizers. But apart from that, the biggest issue in India is the NPK ratio, in which it is always a high nitrogen fertilizers which are being used in India, and probably in a 8 to 2 is to 1 ratio, whereas the Indian soil is more conducive for a 4 is to 2 is to 1 ratio. Now, your product also focuses on nitrogen, but how are you going to solve the problem for P and K? That's the bigger challenge, I believe, in the Indian market. And third question was, there are a lot of nutrient-based subsidies which are available. Have you studied that from the government of India, and is that something which can be utilized for this particular product? Thanks.
So I would like to take up the first question, sir. You're right. We have studied the Smart Grow company, which was operated in US, and there we took inspiration of expanding our product market in the longer run. Primarily, as of now, they only focus on B2B, B2C products such as hair mats. So they have products for certain customers who can use it to in their home balconies and plants as a not as a fertilizer or a crop booster, but as a decomposable hair mat. They do not process the hair in any way. They they just convert the raw hair into special mats which can decompose when you grow it in the plant in maybe 1 or 2 years. So it's strategically placed on the top or the bottom of the mats. What we are doing is we are not a substitute for traditional fertilizers. We are exponentially accelerating the growth of the crop and growth of the the nutrients of the soil by manufacturing amino crop boosters, which are not traditionally made from raw materials such as hair.
And typically, fertilizers, the highest use of fertilizers is for rice and wheat. So, is this a kind of a product that you are making, which is more from a plant focus, or will it? I mean, it's not hair to fertilizer strategy has not been tried at a commercial scale for fast growing crops. So, do you have any research on that, or do you have anything on that front? Do you think it is commercially viable for cash crops?
Sir, I'll take this question. Sir, we have been testing our MVP on crops. I mean, on on crops like tomatoes, which have like very smaller gestation period, and we are also testing our product on spices like pepper, and these are two starkly different kinds of crops, along with the kind of crops that are more prevalent in India in which fertilizers are used. So, as my team member Karan said this will not be a substitute to a fertilizer. This will be an addition to the existing fertilizer market. So, we are not actually eating up anybody's market share. We are going to commercially set up this, which will be working, in which our MVP is going to work on every plant/crop that exists currently in the market, and it has shown positive results because it's a because we have tried and tested it in the laboratory.
Do you know what it does to the soil?
Sir, our soil testing has been going on since the soil testing period is 6 weeks, as we've mentioned in the video. We are currently in the 4th week of our observation. What we do know is that it does not harm the soil by any means, and it adds more peptides, polypeptides, and nitrogen
That's good.
content to the soil, sir. I'm so sorry if you were saying something.
And also adding on to that, the amino crop booster's main function is to accelerate the bacteria growth in the soil, so that it uses soil nutrient technology such as foliar spray. So the plants do not consume they accelerate the growth of consumption of nutrients through their skin of the leaves, through the embryos. And since the bacteria is growing at a faster rate, you can grow larger samples of fruits, and certainly more healthier fruits crops.
Sorry, but my question on the NPK was not answered. So if you can throw some light on that, please.
Okay, I'll take up this question. This is a fertilizer subsidy by the Department of. So there's a subsidy for 100%
No,
for
no, this is not the subsidy. This is the composition, not the subsidy. I'm talking about the composition, where nitrogen-based fertilizers are abundantly available in the market. However, the ratio which is conducive to Indian soil is not maintained, and that's the very large problem which the government is facing, and that's why they are looking at more balanced fertilizers, which go into a 4:2:1 ratio for the NPK mixture. In this case, also, you are again throwing in the same nitrogen content in the soil, but there's no discussion on P and K. So, have you addressed that problem?
So we are currently in the testing phase of this product on soil, on what will be the main hydrate test. So we'll be collecting out samples in the 6th week, and we'll be sending it to lab and see whether that the original sample wherein the normal fertilizer is sprayed, and wherein the sample where the fertilizer plus this crop booster has been sprayed, and what is the difference? What is the difference between the P and K ratio that you just mentioned about the 8:2:1 and 4:2:1?
Sir, just for closing, my observation as a chemical engineer would be that the NPK ratio the NPK ratio goes up and down because of the synthetic content of the fertilizer that is there. But this hydrolyzes hair in an acidic or basic solution and converts it into a polypeptide chain, which is not as harmful as a synthetic nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium fertilizer would be to the soil. So in any case, the soil would not be harmed by using this crop booster.
Okay, just one last thing. If you can, your slide didn't have any, or at least I didn't see any initial investment number and the returns matrix, etc. Can you just quickly throw some light in the next 30 seconds as to how you are going to manage that, please?
Yes, sir. I think Rohit can take it up.
Okay, so this is the financial plan for the next 5 years that we are envisaging. So for each year, we are onboarding the number of salons, and then we are increasing it to more than 1,000 in the 5th year. And since on the basis of primary research, around 500 grams per salon we are targeting in the initial phases, and we'll be increasing it probably in the 5-year run. And we are taking estimating of 250 working days for our company. So the total waste human hair approximately collected is shown in the below table, and for each kilogram of hair, 12 liters of this product is produced. So the total revenue and the average price of the product will be priced at 150, has a healthy margin for us for the production cost, and so therefore we'll having a revenue of more than more than 22.5 crores in the 5th year, and which gives us a healthy profit of 2 crores in the 5th year, and so on. And since there is a plant setup of 1 crore in the 1st year, we are adding that PPE cost in the 1st year itself.
What is your initial investment, you said, for the
Initial
machinery,
investment,
etc., which you will use?
it's in the cost is 1 crore.
And for this 1 crore is sufficient for your scale up to for the next 5 years. That's what you're saying.
Yes, so we are. This is the first plant that we are setting up in Bihar, and this will be initially we'll be catering to the agrarian belt of the northern region, that is the UP and Bihar. We'll be furthering after 5 years. We'll be setting up another plant in the south, wherein if you see a
No, no, no.
success,
I'm talking about the first 5 years where you are scaling from hair volume of 10,000 kilogram to 125,000 kilogram. You are saying that the 1 crore investment is sufficient to process 125,000 kilogram of hair?
So the process for the it has been accounted the 1 crore plant, and further maintenance cost and additional cost will be then has been then will be added in the fourth year and the fifth year, because that will be the major volumes of hair that will be processing in our plant.
No, so if 1 crore is the investment for processing 125,000 kilogram of hair, which you will do eventually only in 2028, why will you invest 1 crore today to process only 10,000 kilogram of hair? You should take that call after 3 years, no? You should scale up only after 3 years to 125,000 after your model is successful. So why are you investing 1 crore today?
No, sir. So we could also amortize this cost over a period of 4 years, but for the sake of simplicity, we have done the first year investment.
No, I'm not talking about amortization. That is accounting, my friend. I am talking about initial setup cost. Why will you spend 1 crore initially to test an idea with 10,000 kgs of hair for processing when you are going to reach your peak capacity for that after 5 years? That's all I'm trying to say. Typically, you would look at progressing from say 50 or 60% capacity utilization to 100% in a 3-year time frame. That's how you will set up the capacity. That's exactly why I said, why would you look at a one 1 crore investment? The question is, what you should think is, can you reach the 50,000 kg processing volume with a 50 lakh investment? You have to test. Why will you test the business model with a 1 crore investment if you can test it with 50 lakhs?
So probably then the plant setup
I'm
cost
saying
has been
I'm saying there's
included.
something wrong with these numbers. You need to revisit them. There's something wrong with these numbers, please.
Arush sir, Abhishek sir, any other questions do we have?
No, I like the idea, but there's some work required, and I'm sure the team would do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, team. We'll now proceed with the next team. Can we please have the video for Team KitKat, please?
Hello everyone, we are Team KitKat and we welcome you to a journey into the future. A future powered by boundless potential of renewable energy. As we face the challenges of climate change, renewable energy stands as our beacon of hope. India has set a target to achieve 50% cumulative electric power installed by 2030 from renewables and achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. To reach this goal, we propose a solution where we can combine more than one renewable energy source for homes to self-sustain and produce electricity for themselves. So, here is our call to action. Let's embrace the potential of hybrid renewable energy. Imagine a setup where every home is its own power station. That's the dream we are talking about. So first up, solar power. Sun hits the panels, electricity happens. But hey, what about when sun takes a break? That's where biomass comes into play. It's like the night shift for energy, using agricultural leftovers and organic waste to keep the power flowing.
Now mash these two together and voila, the solar biomass hybrid system is here. It is not only consistent, reliable power, but it is power obtained 24/7 even in places where the nearest cities feel like a myth. Hence it is perfect for powering villages where there is lack of access to electricity. The solar biomass hybrid system is not a magic trick, but it sure feels like it. Let's dive deeper into what the trick behind the magic actually is. As shown in the diagram, the solar rays hit a solar field or a solar concentrator where a hot thermal fluid is circulating. This thermal fluid then passes on to a steam generator which produces steam, which again runs a steam turbine which produces sufficient electrical power. The remaining fluid goes through condenser and is pumped back to a biomass boiler which acts as a secondary source of power generation. The remaining fluid again goes back to a steam generator and cools down and is again pumped back to the solar field, hence providing a constant loop for power generation. Talking about scalability, about 65% of the country's population of India lives in rural areas where biomass feedstock is in abundance. This can not only help them power biomass generators but also produce their own electricity. Hybridization of solar thermal with biomass combustion complement each other both seasonally and diurnally to overcome their individual drawback and results in continuous and uniform power supply. Unlike fossil fuels, it produces little to no greenhouse gas emissions, and its main advantage is in costs. Currently, the per unit consumption of electricity is at 6 to 7 rupees per unit, but with the installation of a solar biomass hybrid plant, we can get this electricity as cheap as 3 to 4 rupees per unit. And what's more, each home can power themselves by producing their own electricity. So let's get on board and power up those dreams. It's a hybrid revolution and you are invited.
Good afternoon. We are Team KitKat from XIM Bhubaneswar, and we will be presenting to you our idea which revolves around hybrid renewable energy system in electricity production. Let me run you through the background first. As we all know, the combustion of fossil fuels for energy production releases vast amount of greenhouse gases, contributing to the planet's warming. In stark contrast, renewable energy sources offer cleaner and more sustainable source of energy. We have solar, biomass, and wind energy in our country, but still 50% of the requirements are fulfilled by coal, leaving a huge potential for renewable energy. Our solution revolves around hybrid renewable energy, which means combining two or more sources of renewable energy to give a more efficient and flexible source of energy.
The current problems with traditional grid-based electricity systems are energy inequality, high per unit electricity costs, and environmental degradation due to use of fossil fuels. We propose a
Hi, team. Could you please unmute yourself?
Now, am I audible?
Yes, you may proceed.
Yeah. So our solution revolves around hybrid renewable energy, which aims to cater to the current problems with traditional grid-based electricity systems, which are energy inequality, high per unit electricity cost, and increasing resource depletion in terms of fossil fuels. We propose a solution which is challenging the conventional mode of electricity generation and is futuristic in nature with renewables at its core. We aim to develop a solar biomass hybrid energy system whose one unit will be able to generate around 360 kilowatt hour per day of electricity, which can be adjusted based upon the average requirements of the place it is installed. Through our current product proposition, one installed unit can power up to 55 homes in urban areas and around 113 houses in rural areas. With our hybrid system, we will be able to provide electricity 24 by 7 via renewables and hence play a key role in making India drive towards total sustainability. Through our products, we also aim to create a blue ocean in the renewable segment. Accordingly, we have charted a buyer utility map targeting 6 key customer aspects, namely purchase, delivery, use, supplements, maintenance, and disposal. The blue circles highlight the areas where we'll be creating a blue ocean through our offering. And we have also mapped out an ERRC grid wherein we are eliminating the need to depend on grid electricity in the future. We are raising installation quality over time, reducing the environmental impact, and creating an entirely new hybrid ecosystem.
The target market will be government bodies, builders, and developers. Placement and promotion strategy will be to place product in Reliance outlets, website, and green tech conventions to create interest and awareness. The go-to-market strategy will be to launch a pilot project and then onboard clients through proof of concept and then further launch it pan-India. We did a research in a village. Can you please change the slide, please? We did a research in a village in Gujarat where we found that the population of 196 houses consume 185 kilowatt hour electricity per day. Considering this requirement, we if we install one system of then the cost per unit of electricity proved to be lower and more reliable. Now let us understand the financial feasibility. The initial investment will be around 39 lakhs. After considering industry standards of debt and equity, we found that the cost of 1 kilowatt hour will be 4.41, which is lower than the current cost, making this project feasible. We can also see that conclude that this project will be practical and scalable as India alone has 6.5 lakh villages. Even if we target 20% of them, we can still have 1.5 lakhs of these units. And that will be all from our side. Thank you. Okay, no, the process and flow will be explained by Dwij in the next slide.
Yeah, so now I'll be explaining the prototype. Can you please tell me if the time for the prototype is started? Okay, so I'll start by explaining the prototype about how we aim to generate electricity through hybrid system. As shown in the diagram, there will be solar concentrators through which the glass isolated pipes will be attached. Through this, fluid will flow. This fluid will get heated up due to the solar rays, but it will get converted into an hot thermal fluid. It will then pass on to a solar steam generator, which will generate steam. This steam will power up a steam turbine. The rest of the condensed steam will get condensed and will be pumped back to a biomass boiler, which will in turn be fired up due to the waste which is being fed there agriculturally. This again will generate steam, which will again run the steam turbine, and in this manner, both the solar and biomass boilers will be generating electricity 24 by 7. The rest of the steam which is generated will get pumped back to the solar concentrators, and in this manner the fluid gets circulated through the entire system, and we will be able to utilize both these renewable sources of energy for power generation. So this will help the houses self-sustain, produce their own electricity, and this will offer a cheap, clean and sustainable route for powering houses. Thank you.
Thank you, team. I would now like to invite Team Kashuma for the idea face-off round.
Hello, team. I will keep my question very short and crisp, and it's a brilliant idea. I just want to know if I'm aligned on the idea on three major things. First, it takes around 14 to 16 bar steam pressure for the turbines to generate 1 megawatt hour of electricity. But there was no mention of how much steam pressure would be required for 55 rural and 113 urban homes, which according to us is too small a sample size to for building a sustainable model. Second is, how does this system get integrated with the current energy line system, energy grids, and how much land will be required for setting this up? Because I just wanted to know what is the efficiency of the solar biomass system in comparison to the standalone system currently, and why is it just, I wish to know why is it just not solar or just biomass, and why is it a hybrid? What's the exact efficiency comparison between all the three aspects?
Sure, just a second.
Okay, so first I think we'll go with explaining the steam about the steam turbine. So currently we are planning to put a steam turbine which will be able to take the load of the solar concentrator panel of 450 watts and the biomass boiler of 50 kilowatt. So as you can see in the table 1, accordingly we have put the steam turbine which will be able to take the pressure of it, answering your first question. Now the second question of off-grid and on-grid. The system can be implemented both the ways, and I think which will be able to explain you better through the model.
Okay. So what initially we are trying is that we will be installing it in places where the grid electricity infrastructure is already present. So as you can see currently also in solar rooftop schemes, the grid connection is already made. So initially we will be targeting urban communities as well as rural communities where there is presence of grid infrastructure, so that we can directly connect our model to the grid, whereby the customers who are depending solely on the grid will now get focused towards our system, and they will get free electricity. So what we are targeting it similarly to a solar rooftop model. So if you install a solar rooftop at your homes, then currently whatever excess electricity you produce, that is being transferred to the grid, and the remaining is credited to you. So practically you get electricity bill close to zero. So this is what we are aiming with this system for rural as well as upcoming urban communities also. And talking about
the area requirements. Okay. So we had estimated an area of 1,000 square kilometers for 1,000 square meters for one unit, and that was considering the panel dimensions as well as the dimensions of the biomass boiler.
I would like to add that the area can also vary according to the requirement of the electricity in the particular area. But currently, according to one unit that we have estimated, that is the area that Dwij told. Otherwise, it can vary accordingly, according to requirements. Also, you questioned on why not only solar or why not only biomass, which is the main reason behind hybrid is to give very good consistent electricity. So if one is not functioning, the other will be able to provide electricity. So that is the main reason behind it. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so I got lost a little bit because when you initially started off in your pitch video, you presented this as a solution for an individual home, and suddenly then it became something to power a village. So, which of the two is it? Is it something that every individual home can actually implement to get themselves power, or is it something that can only be applied at a village or a municipality level?
So, sir, actually, that the individual housing will be a future plan for us. Currently, because of the feasibility, we think it will be a better idea to put it for a certain number of houses, like targeting gated communities where there are a certain number of houses there. We can plant it currently. Our future plan will be to make a model feasible for each house.
And maybe just to build on what was asked earlier, other than just combining two power sources so that you get consistent electricity, what's the innovation underlying this idea?
So, sir, the main innovation is that currently wherever you are seeing there is a thrust for going green and reducing the carbon footprints and producing electricity at cheaper rates. So also currently in India, due to the high amount of rural population, many places are there which wherein the electricity reach is varying or per unit electricity costs are getting varied. So if we utilize a total renewable energy solution, so then we can uniformly cost the electricity rates. And also currently we see that only one type of renewables, maybe wind or solar, is being utilized for power generation, and that is causing a limited time amount of generation. For example, the sun is active only during 6 to 7 hours, so the whatever power is produced, that is produced during those 7 hours only. The rest power has to be stored either through batteries or be dependent on the grids. So if we combine two or more sources, then we are totally being dependent on renewables 24/7. So that is what we are proposing.
So the last question that I had is, I also saw subsidies being factored in. So when you're saying you're cheaper, it is because of the subsidies. So if the subsidies went away, would you still be cheaper? In the next slide.
Yes, sir. So, can you go to the previous slide, please? No, previous. Yes, sir. So here we can see it is 29 lakh 68,000 something. If we remove the subsidies, it will cost around 29 lakhs. We have calculated that, and according to that also, the cost will not vary very much.
What will be the cost per unit? Sorry.
Sir, according to this, it will only increase by 9 lakh, and then the cost of equity and debt will increase a little bit, which will be, now it is 4.41 per unit, maybe it will reach to 5 per unit.
Okay.
but it will still be at advantage than 6.29, which is the current cost of government.
Just for my clarification, have you factored in the cost of biomass and the cost of transportation of the biomass to the unit? And two, have you factored in the cost of land that is required? Because you mentioned quite a big number for the land. I believe you mentioned 1,000 square meters or something like that.
So currently we are looking at selling the entire unit to the government or builders and contractors. So we have not factored that cost on our model. Although it will be set up on a roof and maybe an open area given by the government, but ultimately they will be also able to get their money back by 7 to 8 years if we take in the cost of land that they are charged.
Okay. You mentioned also something that you would be feeding to the grid, right? And therefore, the bill would be neutral. But that's not the case in many states. Only some states allow feeding into the grid. Maybe Bihar does, but
Yes, sir. So we have conducted our primary research in a village in Gujarat. So this is a state which allows such type of credits. So we are planning to develop a proof of concept in that particular village only, named Harni, where we have conducted our primary research. And in the initial years, we aim to venture in the state of Gujarat and, as you said, Bihar, which have these schemes. And we hope that in the future also, since all the incentives about the government in the COP summits are driving towards sustainability and renewables, we aim to foster and venture into other states as well, pan
so
India.
so conceptually, you realize that the biomass unit is just infructuous.
Yeah.
Anyway, chale, best of luck. Good presentation.
Thank you.
Hi. So, what is your target segment here? Is it the rural areas or the urban areas first?
Our target segment first will be rural areas, and then after that we'll be, after getting a good reach in rural area, we'll target the urban areas.
Now, you also mentioned that ultimately your idea in this case is to ensure that the net cost of electricity to the consumer is zero, right? That's the objective of this. Now,
Yes, sir.
if today I put a solar capacity which is equivalent to my consumption, and the power generated I supply to the grid, in terms of the net metering concept, the government doesn't charge me anything. So why should I go down the path of putting in a biomass boiler and all those things? Yeah, I can save my installation cost. 21 lakhs will become 16 lakhs.
Yes, sir, but that is what is mainly implemented in urban areas. So, if you are staying in a tier 2, tier 3 cities wherein the solar rooftop concept is already made, therein you can get almost close to zero electricity bill. But if you are targeting in rural areas where the solar rooftop concept is still not there, and also their biomass availability is high due to the agricultural waste which is being produced daily, then this can help them power up the boilers also and produce 24 by 7 via renewable.
No, no. You said that your expansion plan is to urban areas. Urban areas already get grid electricity. So the only objective of this should be to drive down the cost of the consumer to zero. If that is the whole objective, then this plan is only going to work with the biomass. I am saying at places where there is where people don't have 24-hour electricity available, where they are able to generate electricity by themselves at minimal cost. So your target segment is going to reduce drastically only to cover those people where electricity is not available. If that is not the case, I can just put up the solar panel, and I can, through net metering, I can get my cost to zero. That's possible. In urban areas, as you said, it's possible. So urban areas cannot be your target segment at all. Why will they
Yes,
incur
sir.
additional cost?
Sir, what we thought about installation in urban areas is basically since in the nascent stage, when the builders are building the entire gated communities, at those times they don't have any incentives, or that at that time the buyers are not guaranteed that they will have the solar rooftop installed in all the homes. Plus, if you are installing these solar rooftops, it is taking a considerable space in your roofs also. So what we are planning is to install this unit in an open area and then connect it to a grid, so that the need for installing solar rooftops and solar panels in every home is eliminated, and we are
See, the
getting it
problem
from a.
again comes down to what Arush mentioned. Show me 1,000 square meters of open space in any urban area where you can do
Yeah.
this for a gated community.
So sir,
That's
then we can
and just to throw you some sweetener on the deal, the subsidy has increased to 9,000 rupees per kilowatt recently. MNRE has increased that, and apart from that, there is an additional subsidy of 90,000 rupees flat for up to 3 kilowatt. So that will drive down your cost here. But all said and done, I think you are looking, in my view, personally, you are looking at a target segment of only people where they have intermittent electricity, they don't have access to the grid, and where they can power their own homes. But as you said, this may not be feasible for an individual home, which means that in rural areas, there is no builder who is going to go and construct. So your challenges get multiplied because it's ultimately the government who has to make that investment into that particular unit. So this is how probably you will have to think in terms of your feasibility analysis, whether this idea is going to fly off the ground, and what are the challenges for this.
Yes, sir. So just complementing your point, in our primary research also, the village where we approached the sarpanch of that village only, and through him only we were able to pitch him our idea, and based on that research we calculated the community load of that entire village, and we found out that the response was quite positive. And this is what, if they can get electricity at cheaper rates or close to zero rates, and also in turn use their agricultural waste which they are anyways dumping, then I think it is a win-win for them also.
No, in this example, was the panchayat ready to make that investment of 25-30 lakhs? That's the question. Excitement about the idea is fine. Who is going to make the initial investment? Is the panchayat or the municipality or the
Sir,
government ready to make that investment?
So we will have to initially take help from government itself, but if we show them that in 6 years maybe they'll be able to generate electricity without investing as
No,
much
I,
as they
I'm
invest in
I'm
coal.
talking about your own example. I'm talking. You spoke to the sarpanch. Did you ask him if they're willing to
Yes.
put in 25 lakhs?
So,
Yes, sir. So in the initial talks, we didn't, give him such a high figure of 25 lakhs, but we just explained him what the concept was and how much land would be available for this. And if we tie up with, say, local NGOs or the other bodies who, help in creating this, then I think it will be feasible. So ultimately, the cost that the sarpanch has to put from his own village funds, that can be minimized. So the entire 25 lakhs would not have to be put by him.
Thank you so much, team, for the interesting presentation. Now, let's allow a jury minute to complete evaluating the teams. And while they make their assessments, why don't we have some fun? Here is an interesting trivia question for the audience. The rules remain simple. You will have to type the answers in the comment section, and the winners will get exciting TUP merchandise. Can we have the question, please? have a winner here. Sai Kumar from XIMB, you have guessed it right. Please reach out to us on our social media handles or write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our next teams, for which I would now like to call upon teams AAJ versus Team Paneer Tikka with Pyaz. Can we have Team AAJ's pitch video played on the screen, please?
Hi, we are Team Arch from IIF Indore. In today's dynamic landscape, many turn passion into home businesses. But scale limits reaching the right audience. For instance, imagine someone crafting personalized gifts. Despite having high quality unique compositions, selling it to a wider audience present difficulties. These customer personas collectively highlight the shared struggle arising from the constraint of small-scale homemade operations. The question is, how can we empower these ventures to achieve greater success despite their unique challenges? The primary pain point revolve around limited visibility and customer base, capital constraint for business upgrades, logistical and delivery challenges, limited business acumen, limited access to affordable services, and limited access to wholesale raw materials. Our innovative solution involves strategically choosing capable home-based entrepreneurs, onboarding their home to our ecosystem, and enabling them to earn more sales. Partnering up with existing platforms like JioMart, we plan to onboard the home-scale enterprises onto the platform, providing a supply of raw materials at wholesale prices and offering logistical support. Further on, partnering with credit service providers like Jio Financial Services would enable us to extend credit to eligible entrepreneurs. In our partner platform like JioMart, we would add a category called home scale products, which would have all the product of a seller listed according to different product segments. A customer would be able to access all the detail of the homepreneur, including sales, revenue, and rating. Through our comprehensive platform, we offer a holistic suite of services to empower home scale. We act as a valuable intermediary to home sellers to help them sell on marketplaces and a platform for these sellers to access wholesale raw material, credit facilities, and other crucial services. Through our platform and services, we not only address the challenges but also help cultivate a thriving ecosystem that celebrates and promotes creativity at the grassroots level, which is in line with JioMart's existing vision to transform millions of small-scale merchants both physically and digitally. For Reliance, it provides an opportunity for diversifying revenue streams, competitive differentiation, and market expansion. Thank you.
In India, home-based workers constitute nearly 9% of the total workforce, with 40% located in urban areas, according to a Vigos report. Despite existing marketplaces for homemade products, many sellers face unresolved challenges. Additionally, a substantial number of them remain untapped by these platforms. Homepreneurs face visibility, capital, and logistical hurdles. We empower growth through solutions in wholesale access, business acumen, and customer reach. In the initial phase, our rollout target 4 to 5 major metro cities, encompassing a potential market of nearly 5 crore e-commerce users. Within this segment, approximately 20% or 1 crore users express an affinity for purchasing homemade or handmade products. Further on, 5% of this is our user base as our serviceable obtainable market. We aim to engage around 5 lakh users. Our seller app offer a one-stop solution granting access to wholesale raw material, credit facilities, services, sales analytics, legal and compliance services for seamless business setup, sustainability and growth. For example, service include certification assistance, product photography, tax filing, packaging, social media marketing, etc. Further, inside the certification assistance, various types of certificates such as GST, FSSAI, trademark, brand authorization, and environmental clearance are listed to guide and connect sellers in obtaining them through authentic sources.
So on the consumer front, our strategy involves teaming up with established platforms like Geomart and introducing a new category, the home scale products. Here, users can explore a variety of home sellers and their different product segments. For example, under the food category, they would be able to see different segments such as homemade cakes, snacks, sweet, and many others. So this dedicated section provides them with a comprehensive view of the seller, such as details of the types of product they offer, previous customer reviews, their ratings, where they can also log in their order related issues and other information related to it. So, as shown, some of the sample categories include homemade food, homemade apparel, customized gift, decorative products, and so on. So, our key partners, as mentioned, include GeoMart, which serves as a B2C platform for our home sellers. So additionally, we aim to have partnerships with wholesale raw materials and partner up with NBFCs that can provide credit facilities to our home sellers. Also, we will be providing other services such as product cataloging, photography, and other crucial services that are needed for such home sellers. So our primary operation centers around both our B2B platform for sellers where they can access services as well as our partner B2B platform like Geomart. So the major costs involve technology development, human resources, marketing, and seller onboarding costs. And the primary source of our revenue is the commissions generated from the sale of these homemade products through our platforms. So additionally, we also earn commissions through the sale of the raw materials and services that sellers access through our platform. So as you can see, this is the our major financials which we attributed to a per city basis. So the key costs include has shown the human resource cost, logistics cost, and marketing expenses. And our major revenue streams as shown include commission fees, service fees, and other delivery fees. So the ultimate goal of our idea is to empower thousands of home sellers in our country by closely collaborating with them and providing them platforms that can address their primary pain points. So in our financial projections, we have currently considered on a per city basis, for example, for a city like Bangalore, and we aim to break even in about 2 to 3 years. Thank you.
Hi, team. Is there any other prototype you would want to share?
No, the prototypes are included in slides.
Perfect. So we would now like to call Team Paneer Tikka with Pyaz for the idea face of round.
Uh, nice pitch, team. So I have a two-part question for you. We know that many of the players like Amazon and Flipkart have similar capabilities in terms of wholesale raw material prices and credit facilities, making your model easily replicable. First, I would like to ask you, how can this model generate sustainable profits in the long term? Furthermore, most home-scale product makers provide their customers extensive customization. So how will you accommodate customization for an already wide variety of products, and will home-scale entrepreneurs be able to meet the minimum order quantity criterion set along with such wholesale prices?
Okay. So thank you for the question. So from what we understand, like there are many platforms that are existing that provides mostly a marketplace for these products to sell their products, and they offer some facilities that will help these home sellers to list on their platforms. So what we do differently is that we majorly concentrate on the home sellers, and more than providing just a platform for them, we try to provide them with much more services as you mentioned, such as raw materials. It might be credit facilities, and they might need they might need services such as photography for their products, or it might be even packaging services, which is very hard for them to access on an individual basis. For example, for a homemade cake seller, it might be very hard for them to individually go to a supplier or any other person and access these services at a affordable price. So what we do is that we onboard different sellers to our platform, and using this collective effort, we try to bargain for a lower price, and at the end we would help these sellers to get a better margin and better profit for their products. So could you repeat your second question?
So my second question is that how will you accommodate customization for an already wide variety of products? And will home scale entrepreneurs be able to meet the minimum order quantity criterion, which is set along with such wholesale prices?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, like, yeah, certainly homemade products involves a lot of customization. So what we thought about is that in the app itself, where we take the order, we would take the required customization from the buyer. So for example, it might be a certain writing or a certain name that must be incorporated into a product. So this type of details will be taken during the buying stage itself. And when it comes to the wholesale rates, so yeah, we understand that it might be hard for them to get a very deep discounts because of limited volumes. But what we ensure is that they get it at the rates that is lesser than the retail rates. So even if it's a short profit or short margin, it still contributes significantly to their profits at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So uh, I see that you've prepared a business case for the overall platform. What I'm missing though is what's the business model or the business case for each home seller, right? So that's the essential ingredient for your platform to work, right? That there are enough home sellers who are able to make enough money for them to invest the time and effort required to run that home business. That part of the equation I've missed completely. In what's in it for the home seller, and how do all these services help them achieve whatever is a minimum financial viability for them to run their businesses.
Yeah. So, sir, currently, what we understand is that, like, home sellers have different pain points. So mostly it might be logistics to deliver their product to a buyer, and it might be a platform. So mostly what they do is that they sell to an area around their neighborhood where they can usually walk on, deliver, or have a minimal logistics charge to deliver their products. So due to these pain points, like, most of their revenues or sales are very limited. So what we do is that we onboard such sellers to our kind of platform, and we partner up with existing e-commerce players such as Geomart. And using such platforms, they would be able to sell their products to a wider range or a wider location, such as a whole city or a bigger geographical area than their
No, that's
current
okay. I
market.
got the idea. So I'm just asking, do you have a business case?
Uh, so do you mean the revenue streams?
No, business case for the home seller.
Yes.
The second
So
thing is,
yeah.
the second part of that question is, one is obviously the home seller. Why should Geomart or JFS partner with you?
So one of the advantages to Geomart is that first they will be able to generate a lot of new customers from this area. So if you see that the homemade product category is a very niche segment, and there's certain repeated customer user base that gets attracted to these kind of products. So onboarding such a set of homemade products to their platforms, Geomart would be able to attract a lot of newer customers. Hello.
No, that's it. That's it from my end.
Just to take that point forward, are you familiar with our platform AGO? and there is a subcategory called authentics there. So if you go there, it's pretty much what you are emphasizing with the made at home, made in India, small artisan kind of an offering. Anyways, coming back to the business proposition here, uh, again, how have you come at these revenue figures? And I can understand the
Yeah.
collateral expense there, but
So
no, but what is the underlying assumption of the revenue? Where, how
yeah.
are you?
So yeah, what we assumed is that, like, for example, in a city like Bangalore, we'll have a user base of almost 50 to 60,000 users, and they'll have an average order of nearly 500, 400 to 600 range, an average of 500, and they'll be having a average order value of nearly 10 times in a year or so. And using the sale of these products, we'll be charging a commission on this sale, and which would be our primary revenue stream, that is shown as the commission fees.
Okay.
What is the rationale for reduction in your cost in year two and it picks up again? Year one, it drastically drops in year two and then it again picks up in year three.
So
What is
yeah,
the
so
logic for that?
yeah, so mostly because, like, year one we have accounted for the initial app development cost, and slowly we have increased the app maintenance cost, because as our user base increases, we might have some increase in certain costs associated with it. Not only in the app, in other areas as well.
No, no, but give me precisely the reason why there is a drop from 57 lakhs to 51 lakhs and then again it is 53 lakhs.
Yeah,
And
so if you can
secondly,
see,
if you are developing the app, wouldn't it be amortized over a period of time rather than it being expensed out in a single year?
so yes, so if you can see, the major infrastructure cost or app development cost, which we have accounted for 1 year, for the initial year, nearly 45 lakh, and so that's why there's a major dip in cost in the second year.
No,
Adding to
first,
yeah, so
first year you are having a high cost because of your app development,
Yeah.
etc. And then in the app development, I can just barely see it, but it's something like 45 lakhs if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then so your major cost is actually not app development cost, but it's human resources because it's
Yeah.
2.7 CR. So
Yeah.
that's your
Yes.
major cost, not your this thing. And if you see, then you have a reduction of what, 60 lakhs. That is because of 40 whatever 40 lakhs coming from that infrastructure cost,
So
which is reducing.
yeah,
And then
and
I would
so
assume that it should at least plateau, right? How is it
so
reducing beyond that?
So another major cause is our initial onboarding of our sellers. So not only onboarding, so there is some certain marketing cost and training costs associated with our sellers for the first year. So as in the second year, so we might not onboard that number of sellers. That's why there's a tragic reduction in cost in the second year as well.
You may not onboard that many sellers, but then your maintenance or say customer support cost should increase drastically because if that's not the case, then you are not making money in any case.
So we have also accounted
I
for
mean,
other
where is
costs
your
as well.
customer
Yeah.
acquisition cost? What I'm saying is,
So
where is your
yeah,
customer acquisition cost?
so we have like attributed nearly 48 lakh to our marketing efforts. That would be the customer cost, customer acquisition cost.
So what this suggests, it is that the entire or majority of your sellers and majority of your buyers you will get in the first year itself.
So
Isn't
yes,
that
for
how
that.
your model assumes it?
So majority of our sellers, but not our buyers. We would get a significant amount of buyers, as we mentioned. We assumed about 50,000 buyers for now, and nearly 500 sellers
So if you're
in
not
the first
getting
year.
majority of the buyers, then wouldn't you have to market yourself more, and wouldn't that lead to a higher marketing cost for you? How will, if your buyers don't use your platform, your sellers will not be interested to stay with you from year two.
Mhm. Yes,
So
sir.
I think
So
that's something we need to think about, how
yeah.
to budget that in. I mean, see, there are so many examples available. I mean, in terms of developing platforms, including in India, you have tons and tons of them. How many of them have broken even in 3 years? You need to see that. Yeah. And in
Yeah.
that case, you are looking at SMEs, MSMEs who have money, who are going to stay and stick around on that platform for a longer time compared to business makers who don't have that particular money, and they're not going to keep paying you subscription charges unless they make profit out of that, which means that the business model that you're trying to get into is more difficult than the business models which are already in place. And you should try and see, when you do the competitor analysis, you should try and see how much time they took to break even, right? So that's where I think that there's some disconnect between the numbers, but yeah, you need to figure that out. But
Sir.
overall, it was a good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, team, for an insightful presentation. We would now like to move forward and call our next team, Team Pani Tikka with Pyas, for their idea presentation. Can we have their pitch video here?
Reliance, India's engine of progress, has always thrived on innovation. Today, we unveil a revolution in energy powered by a hidden and ubiquitous treasure, waste. Imagine unlocking the immense potential of compressed biogas, a clean fuel born from the Earth's abundance. India's energy needs are skyrocketing, estimated to grow by 5% annually. We face an energy challenge, but beneath our feet lies a colossal, untapped resource, 600 million tons of organic waste, only 20% of which is currently treated. This isn't just a challenge, it's a colossal, 550 MT CBG potential by 2030 waiting to be unlocked. Enter CBG, a renewable fuel derived from waste, offering a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels. Imagine a future powered by this green engine, where Reliance fuels India's growth with sustainable energy, not just fossil fuels. By 2030, the CBG trade volume is projected to reach 18,000 MT, driving a market size of a staggering $1.5 billion. We have envisioned the brand name Rally Green for our CBG venture.
Reliance, with its Rally Green vision, won't be digging alone. Reliance envision a win-win partnership with local communities, transforming waste management into joint success stories. We collaborate with local bodies, farmer collectives, FPOs, and Goshalas, buying their waste, fueling CBG plants, and generating energy that lies in the green category in the National Pollution Index. This isn't just about waste disposal, it's about providing technical and technological expertise, transport optimization, efficient bulk waste management, and revenue potential. CBG isn't just green, it's smart. Production costs are lower than traditional fuels, translating into significant savings. But the story doesn't end here. Reliance can sell CVG at our fuel stations as it can be used in CNG vehicles without any retrofitting. It can also generate grid-connected power, potentially reaching 50 megawatt by 2030, sell CBG cylinders, and even earn carbon credits. Reliance already has a reach to a million of people in India, so creating awareness about this will be streamlined. This isn't just cost-effective; it's a recipe for sustainable profitability.
To ensure our sourcing moves, we adopt a centralized management, localized execution approach. The central team will aggregate the demand, accordingly direct the feedstock to the collection centers. And the plan, with the help of data analytics and AI, the goal will be to ensure low yet sustainable cost of collection. Communication with the field is vital. Thus, we will create a Rally Green app which will be rolled out phase-wise. CBG isn't just city fuel, it's rural empowerment. By supplying clean energy to communities near our estates and refineries, we enhance their energy security and unlock development opportunities. CBG production creates green jobs in rural areas, boosting local economies and fostering social well-being. This isn't just about fuel; it's about building a greener, more prosperous future for all.
Beyond external partnerships, this green revolution lies within our vast infrastructure. Imagine our agriculture estate transformed into self-sufficient CBG hubs, powering farm operations and nearby communities. Our refineries too can become waste-to-energy powerhouses, reducing dependence on external sources and promoting circularity. This isn't just about external partnerships; it's about maximizing our resources for green growth. With Reliance established network, we can also look into export opportunities, thus creating leadership in the CBG value chain. Embracing CBG isn't just about business; it's about aligning with the values of a responsible corporate leader. By championing green energy, Reliance strengthens its commitment to sustainability, resonating with customers and enhancing our brand image.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Our video highlighted the market potential of CBG, as indicated in the secondary research. Further, our primary research indicated that the raw material market for CBG is highly decentralized regarding agriculture and animal waste. A more practical approach involves engaging with them through FPOs or gaushalas. These entities are prevalent and already function as storage centers for various farm products. When it comes to municipal solid waste, we understand that in order to create a win-win partnership, we need to support the local bodies with technical and technological expertise, transport optimization, and efficient bulk waste management while providing revenue potential. Reliance is uniquely positioned to capture a leading share of this market, with over 5,500 existing fuel stations under the GOBP brand and 30 million plus consumers in the electricity distribution business. Reliance can seamlessly integrate CBG sales. The technical expertise gives us the capability to install plants of capacity 100 to 500 TPD. Only strategic partnership can suffice in getting the amount of waste we want. Identifying states like UP, MP, and Maharashtra with an abundance of agriculture and schemes, we will be selling CBG through our fuel stations and power grids.
To convert this potential into reality, Reliance has devised a five-stage growth strategy. The initial phase focuses on building awareness and attracting early adopters through digital channels, community outreach, and environmental campaigns. Attractive subsidies, discounts, and carbon credits further incentivize CBG usage. Once the consumers are on board, the focus shifts to education, ensuring convenient availability and fostering loyalty through rewards and exclusive benefits. Revenue will be generated not only through CBG sales but also digestate sales and participating in carbon trading schemes. Now, coming to the financials, we have plans for two cases, one where CBG is directly sold as a fuel and one where CBG is converted into electricity. We have shown two scenarios as well, with 100 TPD and 200 TPD capacity located near major urban centers. Even with conservative utilization rates of 80% and very high feedstock costs, these plants can break even in less than 3 years. Further, the digestate yield can also generate revenues in tunes of 5 to 10% based on a price point of rupees 700 per kg. While calculating the fixed cost, we also included the cost of creating the collection network along with the plant.
Now, phase one of implementation would begin with setting up 2-3 plants with associated collection network. Reliance CSR funding can establish the initial infrastructure, technological integration, and market development. In later stages, the project can scale up to 15 to 20 plants nationwide, with potential annual profits exceeding 200 crores. Phase 2 and Phase 3 would also entail strengthening supplier relations, diversifying revenue streams, and optimizing operations. To identifying the plant location and size, we would rely on a weighted factor model of market demand, proximity to consumers, feedback, feedstock availability, feedstock quality, and transport logistics available. These tools to help up in facility decision making are GIS mapping, feasibility study, network of optimization technology, and government sources for information.
Sourcing and supply management would be based on centralized management, localized execution. It involves supplier segmentation and tailored strategies. Suppliers are categorized into three tiers based on waste availability. Permanent and mobile collection setups, transportation support, and long term contracts with strategically located collection centers will ensure a steady flow of raw materials. The plan is to set up a collection unit for every 10 to 15 village. To reach diverse audience, Reliance has devised targeted marketing strategies. Urban consumers will be engaged through loyalty programs and local fuel station campaigns. Digital marketing will evolve from initial SEO SEM efforts to data driven campaigns and carbon offset programs for corporates. In rural areas, the focus will be on empowering women through self help groups and mobile van campaigns, creative awareness drives like bio-rickshaw wraps and wall paintings would also be a part of the rural marketing roadmap. The tagline for this entire campaign would be "One man's waste is another man's treasure." So we see that CBG is a potential yet to be unlocked, and today with Really Green, we want to capitalize on it. Thank you.
Thank you, team. We would now like to invite Team Arch for the idea face-off round.
Hi, team. Kudos for that wonderful presentation with a very innovative idea. Our question is, why would Reliance choose to partner with you, with your waste management startup, instead of developing a similar solution internally, given their established presence in CBG segment? What specific value or unique expertise does your startup bring that makes collaboration more advantageous?
So yes, like you said, Reliance does have the capability to serve to a wide audience. But what we bring as a company is a commercialization model, a model which could be used to be launch CBG across India, pan India, in a large scale. The current CBG models across India are targeting a small segment of customers, which is very short, very small in comparison to the potential CBG holds. Um, we have created a sourcing plan for sourcing blueprint for Reliance Industries, which they can use to accumulate raw material. So raw material market is very decentralized in this case. So proper supplier management and sourcing blueprint is crucial. This we bring as a startup.
Adding a layer onto that, we are making a centralized system. We because this market is truly decentralized and is not regulated by anyone. So what we are doing, we are developing centers where we can collect the waste, and we are making it easier for the farmers or the raw material provider to get onboarded onto the same. So that's where we come in and complete the puzzle.
And on top of all this, we are also giving them a marketing blueprint for increasing the adoption and consumption of this CBG in the market. With a very detailed plan, we are also trying to make the consumers more aware about this CBG, so that they can be consumed more and more, so that we can have more plants and generate more profit from it.
And then with this marketing campaign, we can associate the CBG image with Reliance. So whenever people think of CBG, Reliance comes to their mind, and this is how we could come into the picture.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Hi. Uh, Good informative deck. First question is, are you aware that Reliance has already announced its plan to set up 100 CBG plants across India? And since we are already a LNG importing country, we will be substituting 7 million tons of CNG, imported CNG with CBG. So there is no requirement for extensively going and marketing something which our country is already deficit into. So have you guys done any research on this? Have you guys read about this? That's the question first.
Yes, sir. Basically, we have heard that Reliance have set up two demo plants as well. One is in Jamnagar and the other one is in Bankewara, UP. These are the demo plants, and Reliance has a plan in future to expand till 2024 that we have read. So, adding on to this is just a sourcing blueprint for that plant. So, those demo plants must be having some lacunas in this. So, we have a detailed sourcing strategy
and the marketing strategy that we need to increase the consumption, and so that the consumer does not avoid it. So these are the basic steps that we want to do, and it also involves the Reliance's other benefits like the CSR, that we are involving Reliance's CSR for setting up the rural empowerment for women, and also rural empowerment to generate an income source for them.
So the marketing campaign would have brand equity implications. It would strengthen Reliance's commitment towards sustainability and environmental responsibility, strengthen commitment to circularity. It will promote rural employment. These are all brand equity implications. Apart from that, Reliance would also benefit from carbon trading schemes. So it will earn carbon credits in building CVG plants. So yes, we are aware of the 100 till 2025 plan launched recently. It was launched in December itself, a couple of days before we gave our presentation, we submitted our presentation.
Okay, just two corrections there. It was announced in August in our AGM by the chairman, and
Yes,
the
sir.
plan is not 2024 or 2025. The plan is
5 years.
25 plants immediately and 100 plants in over the next 5 years. Just
Yes, sir.
FYI. Sorry, Arush. Go ahead.
No, it's reads like an internal document, so kudos on that. Uh, uh, to obviously, I think you get what is the waste that is generated since you've studied this model. What is the waste that is generated in the process?
So the waste that is generated is digested, and then there is liquid waste. Digested can again be used to generate revenue for the company because it can be used as an organic manure. The liquid waste we deal with it. We have to treat it, and then we can dispose it off.
So
Apart
exactly.
from this also, so there are some gases that we generate while we are producing CBG. So there are the gases like carbon dioxide is this, hydrogen sulfide is this. So these can be also imported. Carbon dioxide can also be purified and imported for plants use. Plants generally use carbon dioxide.
Sure. So as you know, why were you thinking that somebody in Reliance would not have thought of these things, etc., etc. So it's a fairly yours is a very very comprehensive proposal, I must say. But in terms of uniqueness, I'm hesitant to say that I've seen anything unique.
So I would go ahead in this for the uniqueness part. Like basically, what is being done is generally it is decentralized. So now we are going with a brand which is just focusing on CBG. So we wanted to create a brand around it so that it has other implications not only for the CBG business but for also other businesses for Reliance. Like doing this part in sustainability, we can also these credits can be added to other businesses as well. So there's this coming in, and also we have detailed plans like for credits like green credits for the consumers as well. So we have a plan that the consumers using this CBG, they can also earn green credits, so that can also help them for their.
Sure. Why do you think we won't already be doing that with many of our other green initiatives also? For example, it neatly ties up with our green hydrogen plan, right? It also ties up with the societal demand for dealing with parleys, which you are indicating here. Uh, so, uh, you know,
Sir,
this
to
is a
create
very neat fit into what we already know.
uh,
So, like what we are trying to encapsulate is we are trying to make a brand, like as I mentioned, with multiple use cases. We are trying to get it into the fuel station. We are trying to get it into the power grid. We are trying to get it into the CBG cylinder. Apart
I
from
must.
that,
I'm not sharing anything confidential with you. I think it's already part of our plan. All these three things.
okay, so
Sir,
apart,
we have to add some value addition. We have created a three-tiered structure, a supplier structure. Uh, the strategies would be tailored according to it. So in tier one, there are high volume, high consistent demand customers like municipalities, where who to whom we will provide revenue potential and transportation support in getting the raw material to us. Uh, then there are bulk producers who just need the transportation support to deal with the waste. So here comes the sugarcane manufacturers, press muds, and then there are mandis in big cities which generate organic waste. And then
Sorry to
there are
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. As in, it's a
Sure.
great presentation. It reads like an internal documentation. That's the positive here. What I'm trying to tell you is it's a bold choice telling some company that's in a high stage of execution of a plan that it can do it differently. But it's a good presentation. It's a very detailed, and I wish you best of luck.
So I'm totally disconnected from the space. So maybe one quick question, since a lot of your pitching involved about creating a better brand, I heard it multiple times. What is it that I should care about as a CNG customer for me to be okay with CBG?
Sir, first is the price.
So,
Uh,
Sudeep, your voice is cutting down here.
I was asking how as a retail customer should I care about CBG versus CNG?
Sir, first is the price. CBG versus CNG. I believe the price point at which CBG could be made available would be cheaper because of not only the lower production cost, but also additional revenue generation potentials that CBG provides. Then second is the environmental factor. Second is the factor regarding retrofitting in vehicles. So CBG do not require any retrofitting in vehicles, in CNG vehicles. So CNG vehicles can use CBG as it is. This would be another selling point. Along with that, the environmental benefits and the circular and the sustainability benefits. These are the three main things that that would attract the consumers.
So
Also adding a layer into that, so we will also create an ecosystem where
No. Just my question
Sir.
here was, I think the question from Sandeep was very clear. How does an average consumer care? So, if, for example, if Indian Oil is selling you diesel, Reliance is selling you diesel, or any other company is selling you diesel. Now, if just because I say that I am also investing in compressed biogas, does it mean that there will be more people standing at the fuel station of Reliance Industries and less at Indian Oil? His question is very
so
simple. How does the average consumer care for this?
So
so
we are providing some customer incentives, such as we can create a Geo Green credit card, which can give green points by collaborating with maybe Geo Financial Services, and these points can be redeemed at various Reliance stores. Um, the other benefits could be giving the consumers incentives like fast tag incentives when they reach a certain green point level.
So sorry. So
also
maybe because we are short of time, but basically what you're saying in a nutshell is I'll take Reliance's money to give better financial incentives and call it branding.
No, sir. These benefits are initially to acquire customers. For when the customers come to know about the benefits of CBG over others. So, for example, CBG cylinders cannot explode, whereas LPG cylinders have instances of explosion. These safety benefits also give value addition to the customers. But to acquire the customers, we would have to burn some cash. That's for sure. Because and again, this burning of cash would not be of that big a quantum because the production prices that we see in CBG production is lesser than CNG.
And
Also,
how
sir,
much
we are
cash
trying to
burning
show.
have you assumed in your financial model?
Sir, this is a per plant calculation. The per plant calculation shows us that we can break even in less than 3 years, depending on the
No, no, no,
turns
no,
per
no.
day.
My question is simple.
The
I'm taking your numbers as is. We are breaking even
sir,
whenever we are. What is the cash burn?
sir. Sir, we have the revenue projections for with us. In the initial, so we have planned for 3 years, and in the first year, uh, we can expect the annual revenues of up to 15 to 26 crores, and out of
Exactly.
this,
Guy's question is simple. I'm not looking at revenue. I'm taking all your numbers at face value. What is the cash burn? I need to know that. Since you mentioned there will be a cash burn initially, that's what you said. Since you said
sir,
that, I'm
if
assuming you
we,
would have thought about it when you were making the model. So can you tell me
sir,
what is
if
that?
the Sir, if we consider the capital cost would be around 45 to 75 crore for each plant. Uh, and then we can,
Okay, what is cash
sir,
burn? Do you understand what
sir,
is cash burn?
and sir, then we can expect around 1% to 2% of that to be used to as towards marketing initiatives for acquiring customers.
Have you assumed that in your model?
Yes, sir. So we have included that here in the operating costs.
So your operating cost is what, 330 crores?
Sir,
500 million.
uh,
What is that? I can't see that clearly.
sir, it is 12,000 rupees per ton of CBG.
And how much are you producing? And what is your
Sir, so
sorry?
we
What
have
is your
planned. So we have planned for two cases, one with 13.5 tons per day, and one with 30 tons per day.
so 13.5 tons per day? What is your cost? 30 lakhs. What is that? Is that
So
30?
13.5, so 13.5 into 12,000 into 360. That comes to around, sir. Uh, uh, I think
So
it's
what is
here.
your capital cost, I mean, not the operating
4.7,
cost.
and so the capital cost is 45 crores. 35 to 60 crores for if you're selling CBG to fuel stations through fuel
So
stations.
13.5 tons into 12,000 per ton.
Sir, sir, 4.73 crores.
It is 4.73 crores.
Seven, right?
Point 7 4.73, yeah, 4.73 crores. And that includes your cash burn also, you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Thank you so much, team, for an interesting presentation. Now we'll allow our jury a minute to complete evaluating the teams. While they make their assessments, we'll have another interesting question for the audience here. The rules remain similar, which is you will have to type the answers in the comment section, and the winners will get exciting treats to summarize. Can we have the question, please? All right, so we have our winner here, Rohit Verma. You have guessed it right. You may reach out to us on our social media handles, or please do write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our final teams. I'd like to now call upon the teams Pathfinders versus Team Ashwaryam. Can we have Team Pathfinders pitch video played on the screen, please?
We are Team Pathfinders from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade.
India currently ranks 148 internationally when it comes to crime against women, which is only increasing year after year. The main reason for this in focus is underreporting of crime by women. As per the NFHS report in 2021 alone, the unreported rate of rape or other sexual assault cases in India stood at a staggering 99%. Underreporting of crimes at public spaces can take a lot of ways. There are some solutions in form of government support as well as police vans as well as state commissions for women, but we do not have a single aggregator or a one-stop solution. The problem we're trying to solve is that there are no safety resources and tools available for women at critical times, and this is hindering their access to we introduce you today to a new revolutionary product aimed at enhancing the safety and well-being of women everywhere in India, with the objective to empower women with knowledge, tools, and features required to navigate the world with confidence. A look at PowerShield app, and you'll see there are a lot of features integrated into it for planning their routes, for finding assistance when needed, and for finding nearby help, as well as sending tracking requests to nearby people that are willing to help, in addition to self audits that they can take themselves.
It also incentivizes local governments to improve safety scores. Future upgrades could make it comprehensive super app for all safety related information.
Implementation of the Kavach PowerShield lab is going to be phase-wise. In phase 1, we include data gathering and analysis and implement it in major cities first like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, etc. Here we also collect feedback from consumers to make it better. In phase 2, we expand the reach of the app to more remote areas such as tier 2, tier 3 regions and cities. We also now collaborate with CSOs and startups that are engaged in developing digital tools for urban well-being. We also now take it to B2B to expand the platform as an aggregator and online B2B marketplace connecting security service providers and clients. This helps us in premiumization of the app as well as monetization. In the third phase of implementation, we now take it to B2G. Here we propose and partner with urban local bodies, state governments that are also interested in improving the women's safety scores. We act as consultants and extend advanced surveillance and security solutions to them. We also now allow monitoring and performing periodic safety audits. This is possible through involving general public and employees in audit procedures through our built-in quick audit feature that would help them provide targeting services. In the fourth phase of implementation, we now have aggregation of all security services, government schemes and programs under a single app. We now categorize them according to the beneficiaries or purposes like services specific to police or legality, women and children, skill development, health and wellness, etc. Precedence can always be taken from government development apps like Umang and My Government. Now we have the India's first ever unified super app for e-Suraksha.
Good evening, everyone. So, in the video, we have highlighted a crucial problem, which is safety of women at public spaces. And with such a poor international ranking, India needs to spend almost 6.2% of its GDP, if at all, to achieve SDG goal 5 of gender equality and security. Corporates are also spending heavily on employee welfare, especially women empowerment programs, in order to achieve their ESG targets. With this, the serviceable obtainable market for women safety services stands at more than 35,000 crore. And though there are certain solutions in place, still crime is perpetuated against women. Problem we are trying to solve is the lack of integration, underreporting, and no safety resources or tools available for women at critical times. This affects their well-being and limits their access to opportunity.
So the objective of ours is to build an all-in-one women safety app. Our gamified and color-coded intuitive map addresses the pain point of not having the awareness of our surroundings whenever it leads to vulnerability, especially for women. And our flagship features involve an ever-floating SOS button on all fronts of the user screen time on our app. Our one-touch audio recording feature addresses the issue of the lack of evidence or the tampered evidence persistent in India. So our stay connected tracking facility ensures that the last location recorded on a device is sent to our loved ones through the 3 emergency mandatory contacts being recorded during the times of network connectivity disruptions. So the implementation of the Kavach PowerShield app is going to be 3 phases wise. And in the first phase of implementation, we take it strictly to B2C. We address our target market segment, which is women from metro cities following a freemium revenue model, wherein we have the marketplace for cross-selling by the brands which are also in the similar area of interest.
So in the first year, we solely focus on business development. Now, in the second phase of implementation, we expand our reach to tier 2 and tier 3 regions. And here we also take it to B2B, wherein we address the pain point of smaller scale organizations that are not being able to support their women whenever they have to take their office transits. So by offering them our services following a subscription revenue model. We also offer a premiumization for our B2C model here through the availability of on-demand security services like bouncer services, legal services as well. Now, in the third phase of implementation, we take it to B2G. Here, we provide our consultancy to the governments that are interested in boosting the safety scores of their regions. Here, we believe that if they had regional safety scores, they can allocate their resources better. And this data and the guidance that is gathered by us of resource allocation would be helping them better. And there is always a betterment of surveillance through our dedicated patrolling and emergency response team set up by us, which will also help them in addressing climate identified hotspots. So once we are through the three phases, in the final phase of implementation, we have our India's first ever e-Suraksha super app for safety, which is Kavach Power Shield app. Ankur will now take the jury through the financials.
Coming to the financials, our major revenue source will be, as Ria said, will be income from the subscription model out of the business clients. Consulting and training fees will be out of the government projects. Upselling and cross-selling services and partnership opportunity with other security providers will also be a major revenue source. While the cost component will include the capex cost on IT infrastructure and security equipments, along with the operating cost and SG&A expenses. We will try to achieve an NPV of 6,200 crores at 18% cost of capital with a payback period of 2 years. To gauge our success, we have put forward certain short-term and long-term matrices like daily active users, cities, blocks covered, increased sense of security, among others. In all, our solution ticks all the boxes of solution feasibility matrix, creating a win-win condition for all. So, thank you very much. This was our presentation.
Can we please have a prototype video, please?
This is the wireframe of a user journey signing up using the mobile number and verifying through OTP. After verification, they have to provide 3 mandatory emergency contacts for SOS, which is made available on all fronts of the screen time. On the home screen, the user can access various important features, including an ever-floating SOS button, as well as route planner, safety zones codes, guides, community, etc. In the route planner, a user can access safest route between 2 destinations. Within the zonal safety scores, the map is color-coded as per the safety rating. In the Find Support section, only a button stands between the consumer and the support needed. Even within the menu, there is an SOS button that can be used to send a signal with just a click. The user can access other features from within the home screen, like Find Nearby Help. The other features can be accessed through Sandwich dropdown. This is the comprehensive prototype of our Kavach PowerShield Super app.
Thank you, team. For the idea face-off round, we'll now call Team Ashwaryam on the screen.
Good afternoon, team. First of all, thank you for thinking about women's safety. It really means a lot to me and my team. So, our critique for your solution is threefold. There are many apps in the market like Shiro's Safety Pin 112, which is already present in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, Himat by Delhi Police, and Kabel Utapi by Tamil Nadu Police, which has all and more of the features that your app offers, that you for free. How do you plan on entering such a saturated market with such a freemium plan, especially when you have an app that only works in English when you're trying to go national? Also, talking about alternatives, most phones come with a press emergency button that would easily that would be easier for women to just press the button 3 times than to open an app, navigate the ads and other hindrances, and then ask for help. Also, you've also pitched your app as being a service provider, helping women during their critical times. But as I see, all of their services are either ex ante or ex post. How does it app help the women when they are in their critical time? With the latest data protection laws, concerns around privacy, don't you think geotagging police officers via satellite, that is something they have mentioned, that too on private app poses serious security issues for the entire police force? Finally, you've also mentioned about safety scoring areas, a multi-sectoral impact of an app. That is, don't you think miscreants can artificially inflate or deflate the safety scores of a various areas, which will in turn have an effect on the real estate value? That's it.
So I think there are a lot of issues that you have addressed. First of all, we'll take that. So you have mentioned a lot of apps like Safety Pin app is present, which are catering to the safety scores, just similar to the feature similar to our app. So we are firstly providing this as a freemium model, not as a premium model. So each and everyone, and they have, I think, focused on mainly the Rajasthan part, Jaipur and Rajasthan, and they don't have many presence in other states. Plus we are catering to, as you have also mentioned, about the how we will be catering to women in the case of emergencies. So the SOS button that we will be displaying on our app will be ensuring that it doesn't get triggered automatically. Like if you click your buttons in your pants, it might trigger an SOS response. We don't want that to happen. And uh, and once the SOS button is clicked, our emergency response team, we are not putting a GIS location tagging on the police vans. We will be having our own dedicated response team, which will be handling this emergency response situation, and it will be relaying subsequently to the police station so that they can also get involved. Maybe Riaz can address some points if I have left
Yes.
something.
So, two things I would like to address here. Thank you for the questions, first of all. So, one thing being the SOS button already dedicated on every device that is being used by the consumers. The difference being here, we send the SOS signal not to distress bodies. We send it to someone who is from our family. That is why we made it mandatory to go through an emergency contact phase, right? So that is the one difference that we are trying to make, and it is not just for everywhere else. So this SOS signal, it is also triggered when someone's going through a shady area and their network connectivity is disrupted, so that the people who are worried about them also get to know about it. So this SOS signal is not just for something when it happens, right? So that is one. And the other part, saying that the app is generally in English, we have taken a very generalized approach for a prototype version, and we have nowhere made any claims that this is going to be English specific. So once the scaling is such that we have to take it all over India, our language models, our languages that are supported by the app would also grow up, right? And the third point, as already addressed by Anku, that safety pin and the other features, they do work. But our aggregator solution is such that we want to give all the necessary information to be available in one touch. It's not to jiggle between multiple apps. Like you said, if they have to use a safety pin and they have to use an SOS, it's a quite a stretch that we're trying to bring it together into one solution.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Am I audible, Ankur and Riyaz?
Yes, sir, you audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good presentation, very crisp. And interesting bit is you're talking about women's safety without a single girl on your team. So that's the second interesting observation in terms of what you're presenting. But well researched. I think you're able to handle the questions well. My key thing is you're offering quite a bit of services in your idea, right? If you had to pick and choose one to market to your audience, what is that one feature that you'd pick and market, which would get people to use your app? Because right now I'm seeing too many features and too many services being showcased. So that sort of leaves me confused on what should I use this app for, because a lot of times an all-in-one app ends up being an all-in-one app for no one, right? Because there are too many things for too many people, right? So what is it that you want to offer to begin with?
Riaz,
Right.
if you
So,
can switch to the
yeah,
features.
just a second.
Yes, sir. So first of all, we have targeted. So in the freemium model that is catering to the customer as a general, which will be the general public, we are first trying to make their route safer routes. So the My Guide feature will be giving them accurate or the safest route to travel. So basically, there are a lot of places in the public, especially in the public transports, where these crimes are perpetuated. So what we are trying to make, first of all, we are addressing that issue to make their travel safer. Second is to find assistance in case of emergency. There are lot of times what happens, they don't get emergency responses. Even there is police 100 helpline number, the response may not be quick, so we are having dedicated response team for that. And nearby help, if in case there are nearby PCR vans or a public booth, a pink booth in Delhi, so they can go and approach them, the police stations. And live
Understood.
tracking will help.
Understood. So just help me understand the business model as it concerns the user. So what is
Hmm.
the subscription fees you're planning to charge, and what will it cost you to provide these services? Especially the one where you said you're going to use private security agencies to intervene. So what are the assumptions that you
Mhm.
made around that?
Okay. The last annexure C. So in the sorry, the cost model, the first annexure, okay, annexure A. So we have considered the security software. So there will be patrolling cars. There will be 40 number of patrolling cars per region, and the area scanning cars will be used for generating the safety score. So these area scanning cars will go to the different locations and take the photos, and we will be analyzing those photos based upon various parameters to generate a safety score. Also the offline satellite services charge. So in case the person is traveling through a hilly region where there is no network, this satellite service will help them to send a SOS signal even when there is no network. And there will be some emergent security softwares and other security equipments and licenses associated with it. So we have considered those costs as well.
What's your assumption on the customer acquisition numbers, etc.? What are the assumptions that are driving that number?
So what we have done, we are going to target 21 cities over the period. Uh, so first year we will be entering into 4 tier 1 cities, and in that first year we will be not going for any business acquisition. We will go for business development. In the second year we will be acquiring 200 business clients for the subscription model. And a year on, we will be entering into B2G, where we'll be undertaking government projects and catering to the government. So the uh, assumptions here is that we are growing uh, at a 6% in the phase one, then 12% in the phase two, where we will be catering to B2B and slightly entering into B2G at the end, towards the end, and over the next period, we are growing at 6% on an average.
So in the first phase, who are your primary customers?
So in the first year, nobody, because we are trying to establish credibility of our app. This will be a freemium, so we will be not burning much cash. If you see our revenue model, the last slide, Riya's the last slide before the thank you slide. Before the
What you
thank you.
mean to say is you will have customers, but you won't have revenue, right? Otherwise, it's a
So the
little
revenue
confusing.
will be a minor only. The revenue will be from minor
But you
revenue
still have
sources like.
customers, right? So I think Arush's question was more on who this customer is. I get the point that you don't want to charge in year one because you want to
Mhm.
establish credibility. But still,
Yes.
someone even आजकल free के लिए भी कुछ reason देना होता है ना लोगों के लिए. So people don't pick you up even when it's free, right? So what is the target group that you want to onboard even if it's free?
Sir, I think what Ankur meant to say was that our target segment in our first year of operation would be women from metro cities, especially. That is why we took the expansion phase to tier 2, tier 3 cities, as it involves further segmentation and targeting. We have taken it to second year.
And towards the end, in the phase 4, we will be generalizing towards everyone, not just women. And we will be catering to the elderly, the minorities, disabled, and other general public to make the public spaces accessible and equitable for all. That is our aim.
And what are you showing as your profit margin in, say, year 2, year 3?
So profit margin as a number we have not calculated, but if you consider the financial model, yes.
Yeah.
So first year we are losing almost 125 crore, but because we are working on the business development, moving forward from the second year, we'll be generating the revenue of 1025 crore.
Okay, but
In a
so this first year, 100 crore spend is essentially brand building, right?
brand building plus the capital expenditure cost plus the uh, all the capital major will be the capital expenditure and the operating cost.
Okay, thanks. Uh, a good idea, need of the hour. I'm sure you're. I'm sure there is a need for what Google does to traffic. You are seeking to do for safe movement
Yes.
from point A to
So,
point
sir,
B.
we have worked for a challenge with the Odisha government, and we had done the similar project for the Bhubaneswar city. So we have done the safety score rating for the Bhubaneswar city,
Okay.
and there is lot of interest from the government as well to address this issue. And there is a serious concern because they are looking at the target of SDG 20 by 2030. They want to achieve this goal. And if you see out the first slide, UP government, Maharashtra government are the major laggards when it comes to crime against women.
Sure.
Okay,
I
so
think
any
personally, I think you should look at a better revenue model. Okay, so, that's my view. Uh, uh, otherwise, the idea is a good one. I must say, even your presentation is pretty comprehensive as to how you structured it, etc. So, yeah, good. Thanks.
thank you, sir. Thank you very
Good
much.
job.
Thank you for your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for an interesting idea presentation. We would now like to move forward with our last team's presentation. And for that, we would call Team Ashwaryam to present their.
I am water. To humans, I am simply just there. I'm something they just take for granted. But there is only so much of me, and more of them every single day.
Imagine 23,000 liters of clean water wasted every year by a household. The reason? A simple flush. In today's world, where every drop counts, just imagine the staggering volumes of water being wasted by the millions of households in India. A simple yet untouched problem. The solution? The Magic Box, a revolutionary, compact, plug-and-play grey water purification system for every household. Fitted with utility patentable biofilters, ensures 24/7 availability of treated water at your disposal. But why do we need a new grey water recycling system? Imagine a traditional water treatment system costing a ton and taking up half a football ground's worth of space. Now imagine the same functionality from a unit as small as a fridge and costing the fraction of the amount. We present to you Refresh Grey Water Purifying System. Grey water, which is generated in hundreds of liters at every household, includes water from wash basins, kitchens, baths and other sources. The potential impact of widespread water recycling is profound. Just consider the possibilities. Parks, gardens flourishing with recycled water. It is the vision of a future where the water wastage in our cities not just decreases, but it virtually disappears. It is not just about the practicalities, but also about the message it sends. Water recycling tells a story of respect for our planet, a recognition that resources are finite, and it underscores the importance of living sustainably, of ensuring that the world we leave for our children is the one that can sustain them. We have painted a picture of water recycling where water once used just doesn't vanish. It continues its journey, serving purpose after purpose, drop by precious drop. It is a world within our grasp, if only we choose to reach for it.
As established in the pitch, water scarcity is a daunting issue, and the solution to it is grey water purification. When we try to understand grey water, as seen in the right side of the screen, the biggest components are suspended solids and BOD. Our solution has 4 stages: collection, sedimentation, filtration and purification, which is unique to us, and then storage.
I'm sorry. I was in our solution. This what gray water passes through a series of patentable biofilters, then passes through GAC filters, which basically remove any objectionable odors, and further through a UV filter. This water is then stored above. Coming to the installation, our unit is very easy to be installed and comes with 2 tanks, one for initial storage of gray water and one for the storage of clean white water. The details of the installation and the prototype are in the prototype slide.
We will be marketing the solution B2B, which will give us our initial visibility. We'll be targeting architects, builders like Lotha, Prestige, who will be able to incorporate it seamlessly. Also to urban tech solution aggregators and real estate companies, as in cities like Pune, there is a standing mandate that grey water must be used for mixing and curing cements since 2022. We also target housing colonies, commercial and corporate buildings, as housing societies spend up to 75% of their maintenance fee on tankers. Our end customers are millennials and Gen Y in water scarce region of India like Kalyan, Vadodara, Indore, who are middle class and are environmentally conscious. This is such a pressing issue that it throws open the potential involvement of government in forms of subsidies and tax reductions. Apart from these use cases, as shown on the slide, in phase 2, we also plan to create an integrated system where excess refresh water that might be generated can be carried over to excess demand areas like stadiums and construction sites.
Coming to the financial modeling, we essentially use a captive pricing model using razor blade model. We plan to price our unit at around 15,000 to 20,000 rupees, which is essentially cheaper than a 256 liter refrigerator. We also included within the cost a markup of 17%. As a part of our financial modeling, we plan to offer annual maintenance contract as well as deep clean maintenance once every 3 years. We did a survey where we found out what is the propensity of various units like filters and others pumps to break, and based on that we have estimated a revenue from the services as shown in the table below. And using these 2 data, we created a financial modeling for the next 5 years. We initially targeted the city of Pune, going to water scarcity as well as going to the Gen Y population. We took the population of Pune, applied multiple lenses such as income, such as whether they live in flats or in homes, and based on that we came up with a very conservative 3,400 units as a demand for the first year. We have assumed a very modest 3% growth in demand as well as a reduction in the cost. From 14,250 in the year 1 to about 13,000 because of economies of scale coming into the picture. With an initial investment of 10 crore, we were able to break even at around year 4, and we plan to set up our first assembly unit in the suburbs of Mumbai.
Now, let's look at what makes our product unique. Firstly, it's decentralized. Refresh allows for a system exchange at the source level, reducing the dependency on volume at the larger levels. It's a sustainable and cost-effective solution. It is smaller, cheaper, and more energy efficient than a refrigerator. It is also a plug-and-play system that works as an appliance and can be easily retrofitted into existing plumbing frameworks. We plan to launch 5 variants for different set of customer needs. Refresh Homes for average Indian households, priced at around 17,000 per unit. Refresh Max for bigger housing complexes, priced at around 49,000. And Refresh Stays, custom and commercial, are 3 customizable as per the request, and hence prices may vary. We plan to generate the following impact. Firstly, we are aiming at a cradle to cradle system where water is used and reused and eventually absorbed by the earth. Our refresh water, for all intensive purposes, is also consumable and can be certified by the BIS and Ministry of Water Resources. Next, our system is both energy and cost saving. The amount of energy and cost that goes into purifying water at large water treatment plants like the ones we identified at Bhandup in Mumbai is huge, around 33 crores annually. And with 4 such units in a major city, it totals up to 140 crores annually. By using our system, we aim to save the taxpayers' money. Hence, the government can use this money to improve piped water network and eventually incentivize government subsidies for our unit. Lastly, our system is also sustainable and aims at conserving and saving water at one of the most crucial resources for all life forms.
Coming to the prototype slide, we essentially, as mentioned earlier, use utility patentable biofilters, which are consisting of polymeric beads. These beads are essentially housing the bacteria such as C. testosterone and Pseudomonas, which essentially consume the organic matter in the grey water, consuming grey water into clean white water. The bacteria does not fall off into the water system because of the presence of an extracellular matrix which it forms around itself. The modules of these filters can be replaced as and when required, and the water passes through 3 GAC filters, granulated activated carbon filters, in order to ensure removal of any objectionable odors as well as tastes. We also pass it through a UV tube in order to remove any bacteria or viruses from the system, and this water is then stored for use. We have a prototype video just to make sure, just to drive home the point of how our system runs.
As you can see in the video, the grey water generated is routed by a pipe, then initially collected in a tank for sedimentation. Post that, it is routed to a unique filtration system. After the filtration, the clean white water, which is as good as potable water, is pumped to overhead tanks, from where it is taken to various use points as shown in the video for gardening, automobile, and flushing.
Thank you, team. Now for the idea face off round, we'll have two participants on the screen, please.
Uh, First of all, thanks for a brilliant presentation in the idea. I think we all have a part in play to conserve water, right? So when we're going through the your use case, we had a couple of questions. One thing is that in the video, the impact statement that was made was that 23,000 liters of water were being flushed. And that was my confusion, that water that is generally flushed in toilets is considered as black water along with industrial wastes, right? And grey water is something that does not include any fecal content or chemical waters. And the next one is that as per the most recent reports of CWC also, most of the water consumption activities in India revolve around agriculture, where 70 to 80% of the water is used and generated as a waste over there. But you guys are not targeting over there, but it is more, for my understanding, is towards B2B and B2C to end up in a home, which is only accounting to 20-30% out of the total water consumption. So the grey water consumption is also very less over there. And the last part of it is, even if it is made available in households, there is this problem in Indian plumbing system, is that we do not have a clear differentiation of grey water gathering and black water gathering within the internal sewage pipe systems. Like, how do you guys want to tackle this challenge wherein the added costs are amounting up to separate sewage system and additional filters, the frequency of changing filters, etc. Right?
Okay. So thank you for the questions. To answer the first question, in our video pitch, we did mention that there was 23,000 liters of water being flushed down the toilet. Now, our idea was not to use the flushed water, but to use our grey water as the medium of the water being flushed. As in, presently, the flushing water is clean clean water which is being used, clean metro water which is being flushed down. If we can replace that volume of water which is being flushed down done with our grey water, that would amount to water conservation. So that was the first thing. I think it was a small miscommunication, but this is the first thing. Second thing, when we compare to the you spoke about agricultural using more water. Now, our product is not necessarily meant for the rural India. It is meant for urban India, as mentioned in the presentation, urban as well as peri-urban regions. And the water which is used for agriculture is not necessarily wasted. It is going into agricultural production. So it positively contributes towards the economy. But the water which is being wasted in individual homes via flushing, via cleaning of the house, all these activities which are non-potable, the amount of energy that goes into the creation of that potable water and making it available to you is far more superior than the amount of that is being wasted. So that is the second point. And to answer the third point, yeah. So and also to answer the third point, differentiation between black and grey water. So it is true in rural India as well as in maybe in some parts of peri-urban India, there might not be clear segregation of black and grey water. But then again, if you look at the rules in Mumbai Metro City as well as Pune, in Chennai, in these hubs, there are from 2012 onwards, there have been specified rules in housing contracts that there need to be specified black and grey water separation. Plus, any flats having more than 10 units need to have their own specified grey water treatment system within the home. There are these mandates in specific states in Pune, in Mumbai, in Chennai. So our target is that demographic, people who are living in these places where they have water scarcity, plus they already have an existing system of separation of black and grey water. And as you will, as mentioned in our presentation, our system easily plugs into the existing system without much of retrofitting required. There are external piping systems as mentioned in the pitch. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one quick one. I get your solution for complexes and multi-dwelling units. Like you said, there might be regulations. They might have systems already plugged in. But even within urban India, a significant number eventually resides in single dwelling units, right? Independent houses, etc. Especially outside Mumbai, right? So there, how do you plan to tackle it? Because how do you convince a existing homeowner, maybe new homeowners, you might have thought through, but an existing homeowner to invest separately in having separate tanks for the different kinds of waters, and also because you're pumping it back to the overhead tank. Obviously, you don't want it to mix with the clean water coming in because that's also used for cooking and other purposes, right? So you will need a separate tank on the top as well, right? Which is additional investment. Has all of this been factored in the things that you've presented to us? If it's not, then maybe give a quick overview.
Yes, the cost of 16,000 or 17,000, which we have mentioned in the previous slide of costing, includes the cost of the tank as mentioned in the table. You can see it here. It includes the cost for the tanks, and that is how the 17,000 unit has come. And secondly,
One tank or two tanks?
there will be two tanks. One tank at the bottom. I can show you the image. Yeah, you can see one tank at the bottom, which initially stores the grey water, where it's allowed to settle, and then the water is cleaned and then pumped to the overhead tank, where it is stored. Now, this tank is
They'll need
separate
to
from the
invest in
sprinkler.
two tanks.
Yes, two tanks, and the consumer need not invest in the two tanks because it comes with the unit. You purchase the unit, it comes with the two tanks. It's already included in the cost. Included, so is the plumbing. Now, when it comes to retrofitting, as you mentioned, there are, of course, cases where they might not have this clear segregation. But once we have the system in place, our technicians will go to the location, analyze where the piping needs to be laid. And just like even today, we have we have these AC units in house, and they have these pipes which go out to the external units. They are custom made. They come and drill the holes and pass the pipes through. We plan to use the same, especially in existing homeowners. And to convince the homeowners, Vinaya will be answering the question of how to convince the homeowners.
Since the amount of money you spend on tankers is around 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, you are initially spending that much. Then again, sorry, and then that is the cost that they have. And the other thing is, most of the houses are receiving waters in shifts. So our system essentially removes that issue of 24/7 water availability by recycling the water.
The
Yeah,
other thing
essentially
with
ours. Yeah.
sorry, the other thing with houses, especially independent houses, that you will always face is a question of aesthetics, right? So there is there is a lot of emotion invested in the house, right? Whether inside or outside. And AC, I think, is a wrong example because AC doesn't require anything structural being redone, right? It's at best a hole if it's not provisioned for, which also you can cover up and ensure that it doesn't leave too much of a aesthetic danger. So in your system, how do you take care of the aesthetics, whether outside or inside? Because if there are two ugly tanks on the bottom and top, a lot of people might not like it.
The so in if it is in, say, flats, if you assume the flats case, most of the flats will have a parking garage at the bottom, and the tanks will be, we plan to have those tanks in those regions. And in individual homeowner cases, it is an investment of savings, which, and you have to sacrifice a little bit on the aesthetics because a tank is required in order to make sure the
But
system
what's the
runs
saving?
efficiently.
Sorry, while she mentioned the cost of the tanker, I wasn't able to get the. So if you have to pitch it to me in one line, how much will I save?
Monetary wise, do you mean monetary wise? Monetary
Yeah,
savings
as an
wise?
individual homeowner, how much will I save?
So the investment will pay off not in the immediate run. It will pay off in the long run. After 4 or 5 years, the investment would be paying off mainly from the point of view of having 24/7 availability of water. So if you look at cities like Pune, where they have, as she mentioned, waters come in shift. So if you have a scenario where you do not have the water to flush, or you do not have the water to do any non-potable purposes, then this system will help you. So that is where we pitch in, and that is the kind of target market that we're looking for. Not existing homeowners who already have a very well established water system, but people who suffer from water shortages and who need this phenomenon to have and save the money on. So essentially, the water which comes from the metro or by tankers, they can utilize that water for drinking rather than using it for these purposes, non-consumption purposes. That is where the savings comes in.
How do you compare to other systems available for treating grey water, considering that most states have a statutory requirement for
Yes.
societies to have one?
As a part of a prototype, we have added one more slide. May I show it to you, where we have compared the two cases, as you mentioned. Yeah. So the existing units, they take up, the main constraint is between space as well as cost. The existing grey water units, as seen in the picture, most of these flats have a mandate to have their own grey water units, and they cost anywhere from 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. Our unit, on the other hand, costs anywhere from 17,000 to 50,000 for the max version, as mentioned by Ashwarya, plus the space saving. So normally flats have, especially in Mumbai, for an availability of an extra car parking, the flat cost rises by almost couple of lakhs. So our logic was, if you invest in our product, one to two our product, we would be essentially saving the space of 3 to 4 car parkings, and using that space, the builder or the architect, whoever it is, can utilize that space and provide more comforts to the homeowners. So this is the existing comparison, and the
So,
operating costs are also significantly less.
so when my colleague Sudeep asked you what is the payback period, you should incorporate these savings also to calculate the payback, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I should have, yes.
Okay. So there's an opportunity cost here, plus there's a real cost saving in terms of space, right?
Space, yes.
Yeah. The second comment that I have is, have you calculated or have you tested out the end result, as in uh, the chemical analysis of the output of your instrument versus the others?
I am a chemical engineer as an undergraduate. So the idea which we have built this product on, I have read papers on it, and they have done our essentially the proprietary unit is the biofilter. That is where the entire magic happens. The GAC filters as well as the UV filters are essentially just to make sure the water is clean and potable. So the biofilter, the water which comes out of the biofilter is essentially having very low BODs, and the numbers are shown in the paper. I have not put them there because they're very technical numbers, but there is science which supports the idea. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, team presentation. To be, I am really amazed by the variety of innovative ideas showcased by each of the teams today. All the all the ideas were absolutely remarkable. A big round of applause to all the participating teams of this round. As you know, the winners of today's regional semi-finale round will be stepping into the grand finale of TUP 9.0, where they get to meet the other regional semi-finale winners from the other parts of the country. They'll compete with each other, and the best among them shall emerge as the ultimate champion of TUP 9.0. Now, I'm sure you're eager to know the winners and runners up for the regional semi finale. Now, to quell the curiosity, the suspense will have to linger a bit longer. The results of today's round will be declared on our social media handles shortly. So keep those social media notifications active. And as we draw to a close, a big thank you to our jury for their critical evaluations, to the audience, which has been very enthusiastic and participative, and a big thank you to all the participating teams today. Looking forward to seeing the winners of today's regional semi finale at Reliance Corporate Park, Navi Mumbai soon. With that, I, Meenal Singh Chandel, would be signing off for today. Do keep following us on our social media handles and stay tuned for further updates. Thank you and have a great evening ahead.